My name is Joe Peroni, and this is the Rise Above Project. And today I want to continue my shows with congratulating Trump voters for winning the election. Today I want to be more specific about what Trump voters have won, and more specifically I want to talk about rural Trump voters and the economy. Now, I'm not going to do the low-hanging fruit. All you have to do is Google the word tariff, and you will know what tariffs will do to the prices of goods and services. I can do that on another show, but today is not that. Today I want to do something a little bit different. Let's talk some real facts here. So rural areas, whether we want to understand this or not, they're the biggest recipients of government welfare. Poverty is high in rural areas. The incomes are low, education is low, and job growth is nearly non-existent. So if we're going to look at places that need help from the government, what we're going to see is that rural areas disproportionately need more help than other areas. Ironically enough, though, a lot of these rural Trump voters, and let's be honest, rural areas are what give Trump his wins and his popularity. Now, not to say that he doesn't have fans in other places, but when we look at it, it's the cities are basically going to go towards the liberals, and rural areas are going to go towards conservatives, or in this case, Donald Trump. It's just the way it is. We're going by percentages. But the crazy thing here is that as much as Trump voters say that they're anti-government, and they don't like handouts, they don't trust the government, they're the biggest recipients. I mean, most of the time, their daddy is the government. So let's take a look at some of this. And before we get into this, let me say, as a marriage and family therapist, and as a personal trainer for over 35 years, you can give people the facts and you can give them every idea possible in order to change and to do better, and to give them the information that they can possibly use to better their lives. But here's the thing, many times that doesn't work. Sometimes the best way to get somebody to change is to allow themselves to feel the pain of their poor decisions and choices. So I'm perfectly okay to watch somebody make a bad decision or make a bad choice and let them fully experience the pain that they need to feel, because sometimes that's the only way to educate people. So with that, let's go through some things that Donald Trump has proposed and what he wants to do with his second term. So number one, he wants to cut the children's health care program. Now, does that sound logical to anybody? It probably doesn't. Why does he want to do this, though? Well, the overarching theme here is that he wants to give tax breaks to his millionaire and billionaire friends. So understand that every time he's going to nickel and dime middle class and poor people, it's to give Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump himself more money. So understand what you're doing when you voted for this guy is that you have some type of admiration and awe for a billionaire that could care less or couldn't care less about you. Now, to end the chip program, his number one reason why he wants to end that is not just to save money for himself, but what he wants to do is that he wants to erase an accomplishment from Joe Biden, because we're talking about the chip program and he doesn't like that Joe Biden passed something, so he wants to erase it. So what we're looking at here is a very malicious, sadistic, narcissistic decision. It has nothing to do with helping people. Number two, he wants to rescind nearly 1 million children's eligibility for free lunches. Now, we can have an argument of, do we want handouts from the government and all this? But hear this, rural areas are the biggest recipients of government welfare. Why? Because they need it. So when he wants to take away 1 million children's eligibility for free lunches, What he's doing is it's a tax on those families because now they have to come up with another meal for their child. And why would why would this be a move to make us a better country? What he's doing is he's attacking poor people. So I don't get a lot of comments on my shows, and that's fine. But last week I did, and a lot of rural people, they step in and they want to jump in and defend. Listen, there's nothing to defend here. You had voted for a guy who's trying to steal more money from you. That's the actual truth. Don't get angry at me for saying it. Moving on. He wants to freeze and or decrease Pell Grants for lower income college students. Now think about this. If we don't know this already, Pell Grant is just like it sounds. It's the money that you get that you don't have to pay back so you can further your education. Why would a rich person like Donald Trump care about this? This is because a lot of rich people don't want the government helping out poor people or middle class people to go to college, because then you're going to be competition for their own sons and daughters, and they want less and less competition, right? It's a way of affirmative action, but in reverse. They want their children to do okay in this world. They don't need government help, so they want to cut yours. So basically, they throw away the ladder because they don't want you to move from poverty into middle class or middle class into a higher class. They make things as difficult as possible for you. Meanwhile, their kids get free education. Not exactly free, their parents are paying for it, but you get my point. So this is why they want to do that. And they're going to save money. How and why? So again, billionaires can make more money. They want to have huge cuts in the SNAP program. Now, if you don't know what the SNAP program is, you probably should, because by percentage, a lot of people in rural areas completely depend on the SNAP program. It's called food stamps. Now, he wants to change something else here too. Now, get this. If you have assets exceeding $2,250, you're not eligible because you're too rich. Think about this. So you got a car or a truck in your driveway that you can sell, right? That's $2,250. If that's true, well, then you're too rich to get food stamps under Donald Trump. Now, I'm not saying this is happening right now, but I'm saying this is on his list of what he wants to do. And you know what? I have empathy. And I have a lot of sympathy for people. I don't want people to be hurt. But you voted for this. And if you voted for this kind of garbage and it just doesn't happen, if it doesn't happen, you are not going to experience the amount of pain that you need to feel to be able to actually make a decision here and say, did you vote the right way? Because at some level, you're going to have to understand that you voted against your own best interest. And if he follows through on this, I'm all about it. Let it happen. You voted that way. Let it happen. And then you can come back to me later and complain. What else does Donald Trump want to do? He wants to eliminate programs designed to increase the supply and investment in affordable housing. Where? In lower income communities. Where are lower income communities? Rural areas. So we already have a housing shortage in this country, and this is why housing prices go up. Donald Trump wants to make it harder for you, not easier. Now, I could include here that Kamala Harris had a program to increase the building of new homes and then giving you a $25,000 credit, but you didn't want to have anything to do with that. So I have to ask, like, are you that ignorant that you don't know these programs? Or you're in a situation that you just don't care because you want to stick it to the liberals somehow? Or it doesn't matter because as long as you can say bad things to people, as long as you can be racist or sexist and get away with it because Donald Trump's that way, it makes you feel good enough in the moment that you don't have to look at the long term. here where you have to really fight to move up the ladder and you can't see yourself doing that, so you'd rather just watch a guy on TV? What else does Donald Trump want to do? This one is really interesting. He wants to eliminate programs that help poor families heat their homes. Now, I do therapy with a lot of people that they have to go out and chop wood in order to get firewood to heat their house. He wants to actually eliminate programs that help poor families here. Like, you want to get propane, whatever it is, to heat your house. He wants to eliminate those programs. Like, Donald Trump is literally saying, I want you to freeze to death in the winter. Like, and why is he doing this? Again, so him and his rich buddies can make more money. You voted for this, your pain's coming. Maybe you'll think about it next time. Maybe you'll make a better decision. He wants to shrink Job Corps and cut funding for work training programs. Once again, we're back to that. Why would he want to cut work training programs? If you're a hardworking person from a poor area and you don't have a lot of opportunity in your community, you're going to need a better education. He doesn't want you to get that. He wants to make it a lot tougher because he wants to keep you poor. Again, why is this? Because rich people don't have any problem with this. Their kids will always go to the good schools. So this whole thing about Donald Trump being a man of the people, oh my God, where did you get that? Where did you get that? He inherited over $413 million and a whole bunch of other things. And it's like, and you're going to think that he's the guy that knows what it's like to be poor and fight for the lower people, the lower class or middle class? Name one policy that he has done. And you can't tell me, oh, you like Donald Trump because of his policies. What policy would that be exactly? It makes no sense. Continuing. He wants to restrict collective bargaining rights. What does that mean? He wants to break the unions because he doesn't want workers to have any power. We're going back to the middle class thing again. And interestingly enough, not every union supported Kamala Harris. They just decided not to endorse anybody. What's going on there? So again, if you're in that situation, even if you're a policeman and you work for the union, or you are in the union, by the way, 2 strikes. You typically are voting Republican, which is anti-union, and you're a government worker, so you're supposed to be anti-government. So you got 2 strikes against you, and yet you're voting against your best interest. I mean, if you were up against, let's say, a liberal who was trying to be malicious, what would happen is if you didn't vote for them, they should take away your income. They should take away your retirement. These people vote against their best interest all the time. Also, Trump wants to dismantle the Affordable Health Care Act. Why does he want to do this? I find this an interesting subject because this is going to destroy the United States here. But the number one reason why Donald Trump wants to take away the Affordable Health Care Act is because it's known as Obamacare. And he doesn't want Obama's name on it. So again, it's sadistic, it's malicious, and it's narcissistic of him in his decision to try to get rid of it. When asked if he has a better plan, he says he has concepts of plans, meaning he has nothing. All he just wants to do is take away Obama's name, and he's going to hurt millions upon millions of people. And a lot of Trump supporters, I don't know if you know this, but I do know some Trump supporters, and they actually say they're all for the Affordable Health Care Act, but they don't like Obamacare. Message to you, okay, the Affordable Health Care Act is Obamacare. It's the same thing. So if you just voted to have your health care taken away, and it, like I said on another show, it's like, okay, how much do you care about your families? Do you? I'm not saying you don't care about you or your family. You just don't care about your family enough to make the correct decisions for them to have a good life. Okay? And what's going to happen here is, possibly, if he gets away with this, because understand, it was John McCain who was the deciding vote last time, and that's why we do have the Affordable Health Care Act. But do we have a John McCain type of person in office right now? I don't know. So if we lose the Affordable Health Care Act, it's going to destroy a lot of people, including a lot of people in rural communities. But again, you need to be the recipient of the amount of pain that you need to make a correct decision for next time. You made this decision, you got to go with it. There's more. I'm going to leave it at that because the show is 15 minutes long. I can continue because what I do want to go with too is a lot of people are complaining about the economy and that the food prices are high. I agree. We all agree. But how do you fix that problem? That is the actual conversation. And if you think Donald Trump has the right answers to lower food prices, once again, I hope you experience enough pain and discomfort in your life so you can make a better decision next time. My name is Joe Peroni. This is the Rise Above Project. Please subscribe and tell a friend. Thank you.